One of the things we get to do from time to time, as we heard from the Ness family last week, we get to hear from some missionaries. And GCC, we have our own missionary that recently went. This is Marti Stegall up here with me today. Marti just finished her freshman year at College of Charleston. I made a joke about how horrible College of Charleston is last hour, but I won't today because I'm trying to be nice. But Marti was one of our graduates last year. So she was here, and we prayed over her, and her family prayed for her, and we celebrated. And she got one of those scholarships, and she actually took us up on it and said, "Hey, I'm an 18, 19-year-old girl. I'm going to go to a communist country. Will you send me money, please?" And we said, "Absolutely." And so we wanted you to hear from her and her heart, because it's the money that you give that makes it possible for us to do these things. And so Marti, kind of tell us how you got to the point where you said, "Yeah, I'm going to go on a mission trip to Cuba."
Yeah, so I would have never gone on the mission trip if Philip wouldn't have put it into my mind with the scholarship. You know, I didn't really think about it, and he handed me this scholarship. I was like, hey, I could use this for something great. So I went for my orientation, and we went to like a organization club fair, and I started just searching around. Maybe there was some church that would take me on a mission trip, and I actually found it's an organization. It's called Journey. We are a all college student club, and they said, hey, we're going to Cuba on a mission trip this spring break. You can go if you want to. And so that actually opened me up to going to Journey for the reason of the mission trip, and I just kind of went with it.
And you went with a team of about 10, 11 girls,
mm-hmm.
and tell us a little bit about, you guys got on those planes in order to do what? What was the idea going into Cuba?
So we had kind of an idea. We knew we were supposed to go over there to help the small fishing community called Caribbean.
I think we have some pictures of that.
We
Caribbean,
do.
Yeah, they'll be here as well.
Yeah, so this is what the city looks like. This was actually a government building. So this was one of the nice buildings in the city. People living there would have never, they can't afford places like this. So we actually thought we were going to go over there to do manual labor, but we actually ended up doing something completely different. We just made relations with the people of the city and just helped them with whatever they wanted. We actually
poured in specifically to a church group there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we stayed with a church group. We hung out with their youth group mostly. They came straight to the church right after school and came and got us, and we just followed them around their city. They wanted to show us this is them right there, or some of them. They were so happy to just take us around wherever we wanted to go. We also had a chance to meet with the Communist Party and medical students that were actually our age, and we just talked to them, and they just wanted to talk to us, and they wanted us to see how they lived. And so they took us around to all of their houses, such as this one. In the middle, the White House, there was 9 people living in that small area.
And you mentioned that this woman out front, she was part of the local church that you guys worked with.
Yes, sir. So we went and saw their houses. For people that have nothing to give, they gave a lot to us. They gave us spiritually helping us, and they just gave us whatever they had. They have no money, and one of the ladies bought us plantains because she saw how excited we were about them, because we never get to eat them.
Yeah.
That's them right there. So it's just amazing that they were so happy to share everything with us when they had nothing.
That's awesome. And a lot of times when folks go on these kind of trips, they feel like there was a person they were before the trip, and there's now a person they are after the trip. Share a little bit about your experience with that.
So going in, I thought I was going to go in and help them and change their lives, but they changed my life more than I probably changed theirs. There's one point in the trip where I really saw God. We were in their service in the church, and we were taking communion, and the whole service was in Spanish, and I do not understand Spanish at all. But there was one point where all of us caught on to what they were saying. They were citing the Lord's Prayer, and we all understood that. So we were saying it in English at the same time they were saying it in Spanish, and it was just beautiful because we didn't understand each other, but we understood each other spiritually, and we really felt the presence of God there.
A little taste of heaven right there. Many languages being sung out and prayed out in the name of the Lord. Well, what advice would you have for people who maybe haven't experienced mission trip, maybe some of these graduates who are here with us today, and those scholarships they now have, and what would you say to anybody who have heard stories like yours or experienced that, but have not taken that step to really go to another culture, whether it's another country, maybe even just in our own city, to actually be the hands and feet of Jesus? What would you encourage those folks?
I would definitely encourage you to take with it and run. It's definitely scary at first, not knowing what you're going into, especially a country like Cuba, where we're not really welcomed that well there. But God really has your back, and He will help you, and He will show you the way, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I encourage everybody to experience that.
This is from a young lady who is just starting her life on her own, going to a communist country, a country that we've been separated for decades. And so if this isn't enough challenge, I don't know what is. But the only way she gets to do things like that is because of your generosity. Both Trinity and GCC have a heart for missions.